So some of the frequently asked questions I get is, what does a Scrum Master really do within an organization? Is the job that easy? I hear questions like, how much does a Scrum Master really make? How many jobs are there for a Scrum Master? I also hear things like, how does a Scrum Master deal with difficult product owners and team members? And how does a Scrum Master really add value to an organization? I hear things like, a Scrum Master's job is very, very temporary, meaning if the team basically needs to cut down on budget or cost, the Scrum Master is the first to go. How do we live with such kind of unstable or uncertain job role? Basically, these are great questions. I will try my best possible to answer a few of those, in this video and subsequent videos. So let's tackle the first one. What does a Scrum Master really do? A Scrum Master is a facilitator at a team level. He or she is responsible for ensuring that the people within the team, particularly within the team, they understand what agile is. They embrace the agile mindset and they shift their way of thinking and working to one that provides value to the customer very quickly. Meaning, the customer should be the focus of the team's attention. And anything that prevents the team from delivering on that commitment to the customer, whoever the customer is, whether the customer is internal to the team, to the organization, or external to the organization, the Scrum Master is responsible for facilitating the removal of that blockade, that impediment that is getting in the way of the team's ability to function. Let me give you an example. I'm a developer on the team, and I'm trying my best possible to, work on certain code that needs to be released to the customer. Now, for some one or two reasons, I cannot have access to my laptop, or I cannot have access to my environment with which I need to build my code upon. Now, what do? Well, one, I could actually run off on my own to find people within the organization that could help me. Hey, I need help. Or I could try to focus on those activities that add value to the customer while, giving the responsibility of resolving this issue to somebody else. That somebody else is a Scrum Master. A Scrum Master takes that issue, identifies the relevant person or people within the organization that can help that team, call it out and say, hey, we have a problem here. This guy cannot work because he needs this and this access. Can you help? This person resolves the issue and this guy gets back to work. The Scrum Master is responsible for communicating back to the developer on the team to say, hey, your issue has been resolved. That's one way the Scrum Master helps the team, facilitating the removal of impediments. Another way a Scrum Master helps the team is around issues like the team has been working for a minute and the team needs to reflect on their processes, on their relationships, and then figure out what they can do differently to be better at that. Because, that team relationship and that dynamics within the team is essential. It is the glue that keeps them connected. So once in a while, they need to reflect, and optimize and improve that relationship. Similar to the way a developer would refactor their code, a team needs to refactor their relationship and see ways with which they can enhance or improve that relationship. So how do they do that? Through retrospectives. Retrospective is a combination of two words. They call it a portmanteau. Retro, looking back, and perspective, meaning looking back and having a perspective. So the team looks back at the just completed sprint, maybe the last 2 weeks, and say, hey, looking back at the work that has just been done, what can we do differently? What can we improve? What can we change? What didn't work very well? And then the team looks back and say, oh, this didn't work well. This didn't work well. I like this to remain the same. The Scrum Master is facilitating that session, giving everybody the mic, as it were, to express themselves. Make sure that people come out of that session feeling heard. Not just hearing them. The Scrum Master is responsible for actionizing those statements and taking, by actionizing, I mean hearing and listening to the team, but then doing something with that information, probably as quickly as possible, maybe in the next sprint. doing something so that the team would feel like, oh, we just are not complaining and nothing gets done. We are asking or talking about a need, something that is important to us, and somebody's taking it seriously and doing something about it. That person taking it seriously is you, the Scrum Master. So again, we've talked about two things. One, the Scrum Master helps with facilitating the removal of an impediment for the team, and also responsible for facilitating that reflection that the team needs to improve, continuously improve the work that they do. A Scrum Master is also the one that is responsible for what we refer to as dependency management at the team level. So in other words, the team might have what we refer to as intra-team dependencies, meaning dependencies between their team, within the teams, maybe one developer and another developer, their work depending on the other. This guy needs to finish his work. Before this guy gets started on his work, well, that is what we refer to as intra-team dependencies. And then inter-team dependencies. Two teams whose work depend on each other are inter-team dependencies. So the Scrum Master is responsible for inter-team dependency management as well, communicating with other teams to say, hey, our work is dependent on yours at this time. Would this be ready? And the Scrum Master works and manages that relationship, owns that relationship, so that this team, his team or her team, doesn't get blocked. They can get their job done without necessarily waiting for too long. The Scrum Master is also responsible for, as part of dependency management, communicating with the release train engineer if they are working within a safe structure, where they are discussing to understand, okay, this is what my teams are doing. These are the dependencies, and at this point, these are some of the risks that we are dealing with. We like you at the program level to be aware. And then the release train engineer takes that information and tries to help the Scrum Master with resolving it. So that's it. The Scrum Master is helping with dependency management. The Scrum Master is helping with facilitating the retrospective. The Scrum Master is helping with, what's the first one we talked about? Dependency management, retrospectives, and facilitating the removal of an impediment, at the team level. A Scrum Master also, helps with sharing the agile mindset, meaning working with the team. At the team level, when we talk about delivery and execution, we talk about that tactical, conversation with the team around estimates. How are they estimating their work, which is the work that needs to be done? How are they breaking down that work? The Scrum Master coaches the team to start thinking about it differently. That's where we talk about the invest criteria, how a story needs to meet the invest. And then we talk about things like vertical slicing, how the work basically cuts across, the business logic and different elements of work, of the work that needs to be done. And then how the team basically sizing the work in small chunks in a way that the work flows through the system, where we're talking about the principle of flow. So that work is going versus, the team taking large chunks of work without sizing them. And then talk about, empiricism, and looking back at that work and how they can see what the team can realistically commit to, looking at their capacity and all of that information. The Scrum Master is responsible for coaching all of that internal mechanics, at the team level, so that they can really understand that, oh, this is how we've been doing it for so long, 10 years, 20 years, and now this is a new way of thinking about the same thing, but this time, this new way is focused on ensuring that the customer we're getting the input of the customer on our work. We can give the customer some parts of our work to reflect on. The customer can tell us if we're heading in the right direction or not. And then we can use that feedback to pivot and give the customer what they want, in a very quickly and with quality. So the Scrum Master is responsible for facilitating that shift in mindset at the team level. So again, the Scrum Master is facilitating a shift in the mindset at the team level, responsible for dependency management, inter and intra, responsible for getting the team to reflect, and also responsible for helping the team with facilitating the removal of impediments. A Scrum Master, finally, is a share leader, responsible for sharing the team on. The team basically needs protection, from the business, protection from the product owner who might want to overwhelm the team with work. A Scrum Master is looking at the team's capacity, having that one-on-one conversations with the developers where necessary, on a cadence probably, and then building to understand, hey, do you feel overwhelmed? Talk to me. What are the challenges that you are personally facing? If I were a Scrum Master speaking with a developer, asking those questions around what are those challenges that you are facing that is, getting in the way of you doing your best work. And these guys kind of just shares and say, hi, I am frustrated because of this. I'm not getting the support I need. This is complex. This work is too complex for me. I'm new. The Scrum Master is taking note of this information and is facilitating a resolution, working very closely with the tech leads at the team level to get the support that the team members need. If that's not working with delivery managers at the program level to get the teams what they need. The Scrum Master is that cheerleader, building that relationship with the team and ensuring that everybody feels heard, everybody feels respected, everybody feels valued. Again, as a Scrum Master, you are a cheerleader. You are responsible for managing dependencies at your team and outside your team. You are responsible for facilitating reflective thinking, which is retrospectives for your team, and then doing something about it. You are responsible for protecting your team, and finally, you are responsible for ensuring that your team, you drive the agile mindset, which is you get the team to think and work differently. That's exactly what a Scrum Master does, with the exception of a few other things, especially when we're looking at scaled, agile, and all of that. There are a few other things that you could do. But at the basic, barest minimum, that's what you do. You are a facilitator. You are a leader who serves, responsible for helping your team succeed. Looking forward to hearing from you, in the comments below, or sharing other videos on frequently asked questions. If you have more questions you would like me to answer, please feel free to share. Thank you.